Instead of a huge wall to block a blast, you know what we are? A bunch of pillars.
Hello, people. I wanted to give my take on this AI shindig. Hold on. Hello, people. Giving my take on this AI shindig, AI artists and such. And one thing I have to say is, there's no stopping it. They already made up their mind. See, the best way to stop, you can't really stop it per se, but well, you can. It's the consumers that choose to stop it. It's AI art. It's literally being programmed into every facet. And these days, trying to get a corporate job, first off, any type of job really, there's no such thing as a dream job. Let's just put that out there. It's like a paradox on itself. Like, to have a dream is something good, and a job is technically not really that good, I wouldn't say. But in a sense where to have a dream job as an artist is like, you're not going to be drawing the art you want to draw. You're going to be drawing someone else's dream. You're just going to be drawing what people want, and if they want it or not, you're basically to the highest bidder. Going this way too. And the thing is, go you jackass. And the thing is, art is supposed to be self-expression, is it not? So if you're getting a job as an artist working for someone else, how are you self-expressing? You're self-expressing someone else's ideas. The thing is about AI art. What the f are you doing? Anyways, Doofus is about to hit the curb. This dude just cut me off to hit the curb. That's what he gets. 000 Providence College. Interesting. Anyways, best way to combat, well, first off, I stopped watching a lot of like movies because I could see it within the movies. They just look terrible. This traffic's a little stupid as hell right now. Okay, so the best way to beat AI art otherwise than not entertain it, it's just to create your own indie projects. Look at the video games now. Look at all of them. But yeah, look at all the new games coming out, and they're all indie games. You need independent, and the only real job as an artist nowadays is to have some type of project. Say goodbye to corporate jobs because they just want to use and abuse you because they know you like art. And if you're an artist nowadays, it's either go big or go home. There's no small part-time jobs. You know, AI took all the people that draw your profile picture for you for a quick buck, or they took out all those type of jobs. So say goodbye to that forever. And we really need some passion projects, and the passion projects are the projects that sell, actually. So think of jobs like, I keep referring to indie games. They're all the popular ones nowadays, but for a good reason. They're small passion projects, and they're not just dumping out what's safe. You know, the peak times of video games was PS2. I loved SSX. I loved when all the ambitious games would come out, and I still think it's still the best. Like, I still will go back. I got a PC mainly just so I can play those games in a way, but I still ended up not playing. But still, because I don't want to get any viruses or anything. But it's hard to focus on the road when people are driving like jack. Yeah, so, yeah. God, everywhere on the road there's a quick time event. They said Rhode Island got the worst roads. I seen a post that said that. That's funny, because it's true. I'm in Newport right now, but we're a part of it. Some bull. There's literally a quick time event on the road everywhere you go. It's really sickening. hard to jumble my thoughts. I gotta swip off around. But as like an indie creator, also AI could be good in a way. Now, before you put a sword in my back, understand that a lot of independent creators, such as myself, need like, we don't have the funds or the resources or the time, because a lot of us are working a long jobs and we barely have a chance to draw as it is. So even just surviving and stuff. So trying to get enough money to accumulate to get people and get these other people opportunities, we're not going to ever have that money. So AI kind of helps us in certain tools that could help us level the playing field. Okay, I'm at my job. What was I saying? Yeah, the best way, if you want to, yeah, me as an independent creator, I don't think I'm gonna need to use AI art. It's gonna be hard to, that fan's a little too loud, but whatever. It's gonna be hard to, it's gonna be hard to incorporate, what was I talking about? Anyways, yeah, it's gonna be hard to like get these resources and the manpower together to be passionate with your passionate project. It's very hard to have someone that's willing to have patience for you rather than to create their own thing. If I was a big corporation, I'd be happy to pay some of these artists. But the thing is, you can't. There's nothing you can do. So it's either we do it. I know some people are thinking, oh, if they jump off a bridge, you're gonna jump off it. No, this is not one of those things. If there's a chance, let's say you're a solo animator. You know how long it takes to animate something? Well, let's say there was a tool in AI art which just straightened the edges, or a tool that made like you did all the important frames and it kind of helped you out throughout the way, but it doesn't do it for you in a way. Would it be fine then? And I'm not for AI or anything. I'd rather stick to the roots, but these are the options we're given. But then you're reaching a threshold of what is that for? Is it AI or is it just a simple tool? Well, first off, AI is not even a tool, but I mean, AI is not even real artificial intelligence. We all know that. But in terms of to help an artist get to where they need to go, or maybe a programmer, that someone who needs a programmer, they just can't find one, they can't afford to pay one because they're working these long hours to survive, or whatever, or trying to make something of themselves first. How are they going to they can't get the manpower, so what if they're trying to learn how to code? You're still going to have to learn how to code, of course, to course correct things. They can't do everything for you. You can tell when something's done poor or terribly. But what if there was a thing that could help you, but it wouldn't really be AI at that point, it'd just be a tool. If you're an artist, you should create a team of group of individuals, come together, make a project, and make all the money yourselves. Rather than getting, you gonna pay me today? No, you're only for bragging rights and maybe a pat on the back and maybe a check just so you linger on a little longer. If you have the power, artists literally have the power. We're artists. And the only issue is with this stance I'm taking is, what about the artists that literally have no time and they need those bigger jobs to hire them so they can get off their feet? That's a different story. No, it's not a different story. Let's say you did want to get put into a job where you can get paid, and that way you have more time to draw in general and you can get paid by a bigger company. But then you have the problems of nepotism, where people get hired who are underqualified. Nepotism is really what, bootlickers and ass. But you're not. As the sun's beaming on me through a glass panel, it's like you see a lot of famous people and you realize, oh, they're related to him, they're related to her. It's nepotism. Favoritism amongst family and friends. And you can't beat it. You can't beat these huge teams. The only way to beat a huge team is to become better, or if not, to create your own huge team. It doesn't have to necessarily be huge, but you know what I mean. But if it ain't nepotism, it's blackballing. Excluding someone from the club because they're ideals or they don't meet your standards. Now, the solution to that is you're gonna have to find a way to create your own thing, your own network, your own bag of tricks You don't want to be in someone else's bag because they can throw you away and dump you out. You need your own bag. Now, there are apps for artists, but what does that mean? That's not good for your consumer. Art is supposed to be made for the interpreter as well as the interpreted. It doesn't solve the problem. That's like saying a fire's going on in this room, so let's close the door in this room and move over to the room to the next. You need to handle that fire. No Shade, the app Car, which is specifically made for artists and creatives alike. That's cool and all, but I don't want to just share my art to people that can only do art. You're excluding the majority of the planet. That's a tough one, but they don't owe us anything, but we as consumers don't have to indulge in it. I stopped watching things that have strong AI, I don't like CGI. We're not counting that, I guess, but that shit looks gross. Like the later Spider-Mans it looks like compared to the original where you could see like the costume, the fibers within it. Like that was so fire, and we've lost that. We've aimed into the too modern territory where we're just looking at nonsense. Another problem is the modernism title. It's basically just lazy minimalism. I love minimalism. It's like my favorite type of art. I love to see it. Using it as a scapegoat, minimalist, and calling it modern. But it's really just lazy and cheapskate. And I'm sorry, my thoughts are everywhere. But another thing we should be worrying about is a younger audience that's growing up with AI. Who's going to teach them or tell them what's wrong? Half of them are already iPad kids. And if it's wrong, they're not going to know. They're going to grow up with it and be okay with it because it's what they know. It's what they grew up with. What the f? If they grew up with this stuff? For the people who can, the goal should be as artists, a respected, humble, honorable artist is to create a big project, recruit artists, and work together. That's the only way to win here. That's the only way to combat the AI art and make projects that are respectable. Now, it's easy to complain and yada yada and so forth, and like be the solution you want to see first off. And also, you guys commenting on people who do a lot of AI art, trying to like shun or shame them, you're giving them more traction and money. So the more you guys interact or engage, even in a hateful manner, any publicity is good publicity. Swipe off as fast as you can. As soon as you look, the camera knows if you're staring at it or not. It catches me all the time. And I'm not even liking it. I'm not even interacting with it. Just being present is an issue on its own. Make sure it's not in your algorithm. The best way to hate is not to give it attention. What's the difference between a company that has, let's say they hire 10 people to do this whole entire movie or art, whatever project. Let's say those 10 people say, we'll just do our own thing. Then what? They keep all the profits. They're set for, no one has to tell them what to do other than the lead coordinator, artist. And it's up to them if they listen. And if not, they take their art ideas elsewhere. But they own everything. So, like, the only setback would be, and actually the funny thing is nowadays on YouTube, what's popular now is it's like a genre of however you say it, just listening people talk in cars. That's why I started the video like this. People like to watch people talking in cars, driving around. We lost that sense of, we lost that sense of togetherness. We lost that sense of connection through internet and AI art and AI everything. So, and it just keeps it down to earth. A lot of these indie projects blow up when they're really good projects. A lot don't, unfortunately, but a lot also do. If you really want to compete, you gotta adapt, or you get steamrolled. I'm not saying I'm gonna use AI art, for hell no. But I am gonna use some AI tools to help get my job done. If I can't. But moral of the story, if you're an artist, you gotta do it for the love of the game. You really do.
Have a side job as your no, not your passion. Have a side job that pays good enough. There's always gonna be a better one around the corner. And try and get the best job possible that gives you the most amount of time to work on your craft. Post on the internet, build an audience. That audience can help uplift you like a platform, like a trampoline. You're just building a firm trampoline. Network with other artists, and you guys can help each other make some friends, some good moments and experiences. And by the time you're ready for your project to debut, assuming it all goes well, for me, it's not about the money. I could definitely use it, but it's about getting the project itself out. This isn't about me because I'm not telling you about my telling you about my. We have to make home hit classics. You know why Happy Gilmore is such a widely loved movie? Because there's authenticity. It brings us back. We gotta John Henry this thing. The home video. It may be terribly Rotten Tomatoes, whatever, but everyone loves it and they do not forget it. That's the same with indie projects as well if they're done well. And a lot of things with the biggest fandoms are the smallest projects. Five Nights at Freddy's. It's the craziest indie project I've ever seen go that far. Lethal Company, other video games. You know, these are all like home classics in a way. These indie, we can be a part of that. We all can work together. And just the one thing you want to do is network with a lot of people, and you might randomly go into the right pool. The only issue with that is a lot of people have this me mentality, and it's really annoying. A lot of us have this, how can I network with you to put me on a pedestal? How do you progress me forward rather than the relationship itself? And it's very self-destructive to them and the community. And one of the biggest problems is we're not really an art community itself. We're just a bunch of bandits and their tribes. We're very disconnected. We're not connected like we should be. There's a lot of weirdos and just everyone's out for themselves, and no one, if we'd all be good if we actually were all tight knit, but we're not a tight knit community like we should be. We're already outnumbered. So why are we doing this to each other? All people have to do is just speak their mind and what they like. People will hold in their gripes and hold it on and not say anything, but talk later behind them. And really, the solution is just speak your mind, speak your piece. If you have a gripe, understand. We're not a tight-knit community. That's why we get picked off. And that's why we're getting a clean sweep right now. Instead of a wall, instead of a huge wall to block a blast, you know what we are? A bunch of pillars. A bunch of pillars spaced out away from each other. That's what we are. There are some of us, myself included, that want to bridge those gaps. But we get discouraged later on because to no avail, you know. There's only so much you can do. People are going to have to want to do it. And people won't want to do it unless they get some type of monetary or some type of gain out of it. And that's a huge problem. You know, if you're a 2D artist, work with video game people that do that. It doesn't have to be video game related, but any type of project. Make your own comic books, sell physical copies. People are saying comic books are dying. Well, then turn it into something more physical. A lot of when I used to sell painted shoes, a lot of people's buying that stuff because it's a physical, usable product. I'm not saying you have to sell it because this is mainly for the love of the game. But the best type of art that sells is the art that can be used. Whether it's entertainment or an actual thing that can be actually physically a tool, for instance, or anything. You know, it could just be build your audience up and sell some merch or something. I mean, not everything has to be capitalistic. That's not what art's supposed to be about. It's about getting your ideas and conveying a message through your desires, whatever you lack. If you have a true meaning you want to get out there, whatever. You know, that is art, and that's the beauty of art. Unfortunately, a lot of us regret that we've chosen this path. And unfortunately, you need money to do your art stuff. It's the only path that's right for us. Creative thinkers have to get their thoughts out there. We got to do it. Whether it's drawn on the wall outside with a piece of chalk because we ain't got no supplies. This costs $1 and this costs 50 cents. And there's a webtoon out there that's literally stick figures getting hundreds of thousands of views. It's called The Dark World or something like that. I don't remember. Either way, it's doable. It doesn't have to be perfect.
It just has to be executed. Any concept will do. Just a perfect, beautiful execution with a creative, new, refreshing idea. And you win.
And we can all beat the machine. Because you know who fuels the machine? We do. And if they're not making any money, if you hurt their pockets, they're not going to use their pockets. And they're spending billions on AI, so that means people are absorbing it. The only way to fight it is you can't really fight it, but you can steer it in the right direction. Create the best indie projects you guys can come up with. It may take years, sadly, but the only real problem is there's a lot of yes men out there that should be on our team, and that's what's actually fueling these type of things, or people who can't do things. They're stealing from us. That's a whole nother topic, but I can get into that right now. They're stealing from us, okay? But that's the one thing. See, commission artists, it may have passed away. But if there's one thing they can't steal entirely just yet, is a beautiful, well-crafted story, art, the whole package. It can't make the whole package. They can put pieces together. That's the one thing we can win at, is the full packaged projects. You got to make projects with your art. Otherwise, see, commission-based art, you guys, I apologize, you guys are cooked. That side thing is done.
Well, not entirely. If you're selling yourself and you're selling a new art style that has yet to be created or replicated,
no one's gonna want it if they can simply type it up and get it made themselves. They're like, it's good enough to be my PFP, I like it. If there's one thing these days that separate us from AI art is ourselves. Separate ourselves from the art. We sell ourselves in a way, not our souls, but there's a face behind the project. There's a soul behind the project. I keep always saying this, but when I was selling shoes, painted shoes, a lot of my comments back then used to always say, I like his setup. It was very hillbilly setup. I had the water in the cup with the paintbrushes, bringing it, videoing it as I was painting people's shoes, showing that I didn't have the best product. Sorry, I thought someone came. I didn't have the best products. I did have the best paints because I spare no expense with people's stuff, but I didn't have like the special cup, the special paintbrushes, and I still got the job done, and people like that. People love that. That's why they were saying that's why they buy. I'm not gonna go back to the comments, but that's why they were buying from me. Because it felt very personal. They were buying stuff from me for me. Also because the art itself, duh, but there's a reason why Kickstarter does so well, mind you. It's not completely over. If you like to doodle, post your doodles. It's not the end of the world. Get your art out there. It's not the end of the world. Post your doodles, make a beautiful story, and you can sell your story. I, as an artist, don't mind supporting other artists. That's the whole name of the game. You guys know, well, some of you guys know, that my few subscribers know, my ultimate project is to create a video game with my characters that can host other people so they can get put on, and it could be a big networking net, and they can have their characters in the game. It would take some work. Hopefully, if I could pay them, we'll see if that's even possible, but even just having the opportunity is good enough. But this ain't about me, it's about you and locking in.
and you know what you could do actually? You could make a meme page or multiple memes. Memes rule the world. Memes is current modern day propaganda. Do you hear me? Memes, on whatever your motive you're trying to push. There's AI that can make memes too. But the thing is, a lot of these AI, they have server rooms, it's just not enough computing power, I don't think, to hold the whole country or to hold the whole entire thing using AI. It's just not possible. At the moment, anyway. But if you use memes to get your point across, memes make money. Memes carry jokes. They make things trend. They make popular artists, joking ones, famous. If you have a point across that you want to turn into a meme, a comedy skit, a universal art page where anyone can upload their hatred in forms of memes. Okay? They could share you a picture, send you a picture of the meme they created, with credit, of course. Sometimes people don't like to give credit. Anyways, yes, memes. Memes make people feel like there's a joke to be get in on, that people want to get in on a joke. You know, it's like a ha ha ha. You know, it's an easy, lighthearted way to deal with stress, laughter, to deal with anything. It's also a lighthearted way to slip in truth. I do it all the time with my jokes. And you can too. And the thing is, I'm not sure if I mentioned it. Oh God, he's going the same way. What? I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but a lot of viewers, they're always consuming nonstop, thanks to like quick scrolling TikTok and social media and stuff like that. So it's not hard. There's space for everyone, I think. And also, I'm on my way home, by the way, if I didn't say that. But the thing is, in these days, you can blow up so fast, but the pessimistic view of that would be also like you can also fall off just as fast. So are you a glass half full, glass half empty type of person, really? Which one are you? And even if it's why you strategize, but anyone can blow up today just as really fast, and also people can fall off just as fast. It's about how you strategize to stay on when you're up. And all you have to do is just create the art you've been doing to stay on, really. So just be yourself and be authentic. If you feel a certain type of way, I'm sure there's people out there that will feel also a certain type of way as well. But I'm driving home. But yeah, people are just scrolling so fast to the next thing, it doesn't even matter. Just, and you'll eventually funnel yourself into the right audience, I'm sure. Oh, this little patch right here is beautiful. And we're off! And we're off! I want to put my phone right here, but I can't. I've just been holding it like an idiot. As long as I keep my eyes on the road, I'm good. But, yeah, there's space for everyone, I think. And I think may the best man win. Not everyone, gets to make it in life. But that's fine. At least you can say you've tried, At least. Because there's one big regret everyone has, it's, I should have tried. That's what a lot of people say. And honestly, if I'll be honest, either you didn't strategize good enough, or you stopped right when you was about to get a diamond or dig that gold. Whoa. But yeah, that's the T right there. I'm about to go park soon. I'm about to go park. About to go. Okay, that was my final spill. I'm probably when I get in the shower later, I'm gonna have elite thoughts that I should have put instead, but that's okay.